Blog Talk Radio.
Greetings, this is Cherokee Billie, and welcome to the Sacred Path radio program. And today I have a very special guest, Kevin Kinyon from Petworks. And if you haven't heard Petworks, you're going to learn about it now because it's a resource for pet owners, for pet parents, for anything that they're needing. So let me bring on Kevin, and we'll talk from there. Hi, Kevin.
Cherokee Billie, good morning.
Yes, it is early. And I thank you for taking time out of your busy life to join me here today.
Well,
I've known you for a
that.
while. I've known you for a while, and it's been a pleasure working. I am on Petworks, for those who don't know it. I'm there as an animal communicator. What else? Animal communicator, animal energy healing, and grief counseling. And it's thanks to Kevin that I'm there. So why don't you talk about Petworks? What's it about? First off, what is it?
Yes, Petworks is a platform that connects pet parents to pet care pros. And what makes us different than other pet care platforms out there is we have services that you normally can't find quite as easily on the web. You know, the normal things you might go onto the web to book would be walkers and sitters. And, we have those categories. We have over 25 categories in pet care. But our real specialty is time of need, wellness, things that are more unique and are up and coming in the pet care world. Things that parents perhaps 20 or 30 years ago didn't even think about and couldn't find. And now we've made it possible to have not only in-person sessions, but really our core strength is the virtual sessions, which is things that, like you do, animal communication. We have even virtual training. One of our other big categories is nutrition, where you can find a nutritionist on our platform and book them and get a session and help your dog or your cat feel better. So that's really our strength. It's the categories you don't always see every day on the web, and it's categories that are very easily booked, where we can make a good connection. We can match a pet pro to a pet parent who really needs the help.
And I notice you even have pet euthanasia. It's there, the ones that will mobily come out and different things.
Yes,
and that's
you have
sometimes. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Sometimes that's incredibly hard for a person trying to face the fact that it's an end-of-life situation. And, they can call their vets, but the people that you have on, more ones that come out to the home and give more support and care. I think that's an important thing.
Yes, when we launched the business about 3.5 years ago, and by the way, before the program, I just looked you up to get my numbers right, and you joined about, right near the beginning. And, you've had over 100 bookings, which, first of all, I'm just so thrilled for you and us because we know we're giving our parents, great service and when they really need it, and so I do always thank you for that. To get back to your question, or your comment on the in-home euthanasia, it's one of these categories that, sometimes when you begin a business, you're never quite sure how it's going to go with, what's going to work, what isn't going to work. And the in-home euthanasia category has been such a surprise for us. That has completely shifted from the old school, you have to go to your vet and your pet is terrified, not only of the car ride, but just the vet itself. And now with in-home euthanasia, it's really much better. I mean, it's a sad, sad event, but it's something that we feel we're helping to improve. And not just for the pet, but for the parents, being able to stay home. And, just real quick, No, go ahead.
Well, the pet, I often tell people in animal communication, the pet understands when it's dying. They are fully aware. They are not some ignorant thing out there. They're actually, in
Right.
my opinion, more advanced than we are. They communicate everything telepathically. They understand everything instinctually. They know about life, death. They know all these things, so they understand what's happening. And often it's the pet parent's hysteria that makes things more intense for the animal.
That is correct. And I was just going to add that with the euthanasia, it's it's just part of a larger picture of what we're able to help people with. And we call it
True.
time of need. We call it time of need, but you yourself provide so much into that, as you mentioned, with grief loss and communication. It's sort of it's all tied together, and that's what I think Petworks, our theme is. It's tying the life cycle of a pet in the relationship to their parents together, and we are there for them every step. So, as I mentioned, we have the training to get you going and nutrition to make you feel good, and at the end, we want to be there as well. And that's kind of how we look at it. It's sort of a life cycle, really, for what we do.
It is. And, you even have listed, which I really like, pet chiropractors. Now, that's not something
Yes.
easily found for people. And I do
Yes,
believe you also have people who do acupuncture, but, how many times can you look in the phone book or on the internet for a pet chiropractor? Not easy to find.
it's funny you mentioned chiropractor, because not only is it not easy to find, but it is difficult to book. And we are making great strides to make it more bookable, I guess you'd call it, if that's a word. You have state regulations, you have veterinary things that need to tie into the chiropractor in order for the procedure to be able to be, legal, I guess you'd say. And it's an interesting thing. We're breaking new ground. So it's one of the things I like the most about Petworks is we're opening up new, I guess, channels or ways to go about this. And, we have to push it. We have to be adventurous, I guess. So a lot of people wouldn't have thought
Well,
we could
yes,
do
and you
chiropractic
do.
care. Yeah,
Yes,
so,
because
and,
it does really work.
correct.
I know
So,
I am a naturopathic doctor, and I've worked closely with chiropractors. And I had one dog who, she had a bad fall, and it affected her front legs, her shoulder, and she would get chiropractic treatment, and that was done way back in the 70s.
right.
People
Yeah, I
didn't even
mean,
know about
so
these things.
and it gets we get a lot of requests from parents for that. So it shows us every day kind of where the demand is. We have statistics. I mean, we sit there every evening and we go over who asked for
Sure.
what, how many times, where are they asking for it. And as you know, communication has been just an incredible care service for us. And we're so lucky and fortunate to have you and many other amazing communicators
Yeah,
to help
you do
parents.
have good
They're just
communicators.
wanting help. Yeah.
Yeah, and everyone who's in your pet work service as an animal communicator, pretty much everyone is certified like me or have other degrees. Everyone's very qualified, because a lot of people don't believe in animal communication. They think it's just a lot of crap, putting it mildly, and they don't understand, what it's really about. That animals, as I said a moment ago, they are telepathic. They communicate all the time. And, as a pet parent, you usually know what your dog or cat is wanting. Sometimes you may not, but you usually do, because they can communicate so well. And that's an important thing. And one of the things
My
I also
dog
like doing...
my
Okay,
dog
go
right
ahead.
now, I don't know what she's wanting. I mean, she's got the bone in her mouth and she's running upstairs. I assume that means she wants me to follow her, but I don't really know what she's thinking. I definitely know what you're talking about with the skeptics, and I would just like to say that as far as Petworks goes, our number one goal is to provide help to parents, and I guess you'd say comfort in many sense of the word. You know, to me, it just shows that we get so many wonderful reviews. Very rarely do we get a review that says, you know, I just didn't get anything out of this. And, you know, and that's legitimate if it's true. If someone doesn't have a good experience, you know, it's all good, you know. I mean, but we have such a high satisfaction rate. And at the end of the day, when I look at the numbers and I say, my gosh, we had 50 bookings in this and 49 of them went off swimmingly, I just say to myself, this is why we're doing this. I mean, this is what it's for. We're making people go to bed at night feeling like through a crisis, or I solved the problem, or my pet's doing better, or I understand, or I feel better. That's it.
Yes, and it gives them relief. And one thing I enjoy doing, which others do on your platform as well, is energy healing. I'm going to address this because people say, how can you do it remotely? Because I do mine through virtual terminals.
Right.
Because animals don't have blockages. They, you know, like humans, we put up 1 million blockages, but an animal doesn't. And when I'm on the phone, especially with cats, they come right up to the computer or the cell phone, and they want their face right there. They know who I am. I always introduce myself, and it's like, oh, hi, been waiting for you. That is the attitude, you know, and they
Right.
really, I just consider animals a far more advanced species than humans. Some may say I'm wrong, but that's my honest feelings.
Well, I think you may be proven right, because if you look at the data of what parents are now doing and spending and focusing their energies on with their own pets, I mean, even calling them pet parents now, you know, I never heard the term 10 years ago, to be honest, and now
True.
it's, so your point is well taken.
Yes, it has changed how people feel about their pets. And, you know, more and more, and I think the isolation that has occurred and stuff made people feel even more connected to their pets than ever before. And one thing I'll put in that I do, besides my own work, I have a Facebook group for pet parents bereavement. It's a grief group. And boy, we get sometimes 20, 30 people a day posting stories about their pet who's passed. And it helps them because people come in and comment and give them support, you know?
Sure. Yeah, there's strength and bonding in numbers. And, you know, we don't have the group. We haven't gotten to that point yet with our grief loss counselors. It's just one-on-one right now. But it's something we have. It's an interesting thing. I think there is a huge need for that. And, I mean, I myself went through a loss of a pet about 2 years ago. And to be honest, I mean, I run a pet care platform. I underestimated the effect it had on me. Like I said, oh my gosh, you know, I didn't think it was going to be like this. And I went through,
Oh, yeah.
you know, I really mourned. It never ends. I mean, it's sort of an ongoing thing. I mean, how do you look at the ball or the blanket and not, you know, immediately be brought
Fall
back
apart.
to her? And yeah, so I got to experience it, and, you know, it made my mission of Petworks even more, I guess you would say, reinforced my vigor with why I think we have a huge opportunity to really redefine how pet care is given and what pet care is given. You know, that's the biggest thing we're trying to do, and it's really exciting, you know. And when I see folks like you who are just so talented and so dedicated, why wouldn't I get up every day and hop right on a laptop and go for it? You know, that's what I'm doing. So,
and I'm sure your business is going to grow. I feel your business will grow and probably extend out into other services you haven't even thought of, because there's so many unique things. Like one of the unique ones also you offer there is about pet portraits. You know, how many places can people go to find that? That's really unusual.
It's funny you mentioned,
and people,
yeah, you mentioned that. We're sending out a little bit of a promo for that to our parents who, you know, may have used us recently, and they may not be aware we have that. And so we just sent out one this morning to kind of promote the fact that a portrait is such a great way to either obviously have a lifetime memory, but you can do it after your pet passes. I mean, you just need a great image or a photo, and you can do it remotely. I think you've hit on another great one, which is it doesn't need to be in person. You know, you can do this over the web, and the efficiency is amazing. Yeah.
Yeah, with today's technology, there's just no reason things can't be done remotely. Like, I never narrow myself down to one area I work. I always state worldwide because it's possible. I work with clients all over the world. There is no limitation. Not in today's world.
Yeah. We want to emulate that, Cherokee Billie. We are attempting to, we have it in our plans to get out of the U.S. and go beyond, you know. I mean, not get out, but expand. And,
expand.
You know, it comes down to just programming and, like, obviously, you know, a lot of work. But, you know, the opportunity is there. And any of our remote pros, instead of seeing nationwide, I would love to see worldwide as well, you know. So you're on it there.
Yes. Because, again, it doesn't matter where you are, what country, first world country, third world country, people love their pets, plain and simple, and with good reason. Pets just are pure love. They're, to me, the pure essence of God is in a pet.
Yeah, I think the U.S. is leading the way there, but we're starting to see, I mean, we see it in our logs, you know, of other countries that are finding Petworks, even though we're not even trying to, you know, we're not trying to rank or come up in India or UK, you know, but we do in some cases. They're finding those categories that can be booked remotely. So, yeah, the U.S. is leading the way.
Absolutely. And, you know, again, I think Petworks is important to everyone. And that's why I wanted to do this show, to get people's knowledge about what this is, how to find help, like you say, in time of need. Whatever that need may be, there it is, all in one place. You know,
yeah,
and again, it's easy for people to find you. Let me just put in a little pitch here. It's petworks.com. It's easy.
That's right. Yeah, and I would, while it's on my mind, just quickly go through how it functions. And it's real easy. I mean, you go to the platform, you find a category that you need, and you'll see a list of pros either locally in your area, if it's a local service, or you'll see the national pros who can service you remotely. And the great part about Petworks, and this goes for both all of our pros and all of our parents, you don't pay anything unless you get something. So in other words, we only earn when we successfully book somebody. And so for the pros, it's a 15% commission. So just obviously, if you earned $100, Petworks would keep $15. And the parents can use us for free right now. It's just, you know, come in and you got to confirm your name and your email and your location. And, you know, we do a little bit of verifying there just to try to give our pros the best parents we can. We try to match make. But it's nice because you're not going to spend money and not get anything back. So that's how we look at it. So that's why it's a marketplace.
Yeah, it's a safety factor, because many people are hesitant to purchase on the internet.
Right.
Pardon me.
Yeah,
and there's no need to be worried when you purchase through Petworks. Say the person you booked isn't available or something in their life happens, you know, you're not going to be charged. And if anything happens with a charge, they can come back to you and you're going to correct it. It's a nice platform in that standpoint, because unfortunately many people still are paranoid about purchasing on the internet.
Yeah, we totally understand that. In fact, you know, because we're fairly new, you know, at times we get people questioning or they're worried, and I totally understand that. And I mean, the one thing I can say, and you probably, hopefully you can back me up on this, you know, we do pride ourselves on good customer support, you know, where if you have a problem or, something you're not sure about something, now we're a very small team. I don't sit here and say we have dozens of reps on call, but we live the business. So for me, like, if I get an email, I'd rather answer it right away than just say, well, I'll just do it tomorrow. I'm very responsive to any email that comes in, and I think as a whole, we're very good about that. So that's one thing I feel like we can pride ourselves on.
Well, yes, I've had feedback from people who've used your services and always say that they wrote about an issue, they didn't understand something, whatever, and they said you
Right.
got back real quick to them. And that is a big thing in today's world, is that personal touch. No matter how AI-oriented we are or whatever, you still want that personal touch.
Yeah, that's it. I think that technology is only as good as the people behind it, and the old story. I don't know about you, but I call Cablevision, and you already know you're going to be on hold 45 minutes. So it's just like,
Oh, yes.
we don't claim to have live phones, but we do claim to have very responses to the calls, messages, as well as the emails. And now we have concierge, which is sort of a live chat. More live. We are slowly getting there where you have somebody sitting there waiting to be asked a question. So, yeah.
Yes, well, I've seen, I've been with your company, like you said, almost from the beginning, and I've seen the changes and the growth and how much more you do than you did over, 4 years ago. Big difference.
Right. Yeah, change is hard. I know, like, even me, when I go to a platform that I've been using, and all of a sudden I see a new feature, or they're making me do something in a different way. I definitely am. I'm one that does also feel that, like, oh boy, like, what are they doing to me here? I'm not sure what's going on right now. And we're trying, we have to, we grow, and we do our best to make changes not overly dramatic, but, it has to happen. And so it does. It requires a lot of, for us, work, and then for our customers, a little bit of an open mind to not be too, don't freak out over something that doesn't look exactly as it did yesterday, because, we will not progress without making change, in a good way, to make things better and better.
Well, one thing about life, it's always going to keep changing. It never remains the same, and that includes businesses. You have to keep changing, growing, moving forward, doing different things. But I think it's wonderful about Petworks. I've recommended it to not just people to use for their services, but I've met people who are like dog walkers. I tell them, get listed on Petworks. Go over there. I tell them to, go. I don't know if they ever do, but I recommend it to people who are in business with animals. Hey, go here. You'll find things you'll find you can get more business.
Well, we really appreciate that. We've had such a wonderful relationship with one another over the past 4 years, and that's how it works. I can't wait to capture the show here today and send it around and promote you. I think it obviously is a full circle. That's kind of my theme, I guess, this morning, is everything goes around, and so that's been great. It really has. I have to admit, I don't get asked to be on shows that often, much at all, and I was very excited when you asked me to come on. So,
well, I felt,
that.
I said, why haven't I ever thought of this before? It just hit me. I go, gosh, I should have done this a while ago. But it comes to you when it does, about I haven't focused my radio program too much on having guests, mainly on doing my own thing. But there are people that I would like to have as guests, and you were one of them, definitely. Because, again, it's a service that so many people don't know about, that is out there, and like we've discussed over and over here, it's all in one place. Whatever you're looking for, you're bound to find it on Petworks. And that's a great thing.
Yeah, you said it right. You said it right. I need I wish we could get the message out like this every day. We rely a lot on Google, as you would imagine. We are very good at search engine optimizing ourselves, although the battle is great. I mean, there are so many big companies out there who have millions of they have millions of
I've
dollars.
been pushed down to the ground. Yeah,
yes,
I can't afford advertising.
It's so tough, and it literally is. I actually posted one time on LinkedIn about this, where we're Davy and Goliath, or it's Davy and Goliath and we're Davy, and it's tough. It can be very defeating. I mean, I think that going through growth pains and knowing that you've got competitors that are just throwing so much money at this, and it does fuel me. I get very I guess I really dig deep and I say, we've got to overcome some of these larger competitors who I just don't think have the heart. And I'm convinced that, with heart and drive, you can take it far, and so that's what we do every day. And I feel the same way for our pros. I know you guys are battling, like you just said, these people that just blow you out of the water with ads, right? It's like,
oh yeah. A big corporations.
Yeah, I mean it's the will every day, and I know your story, and I just admire you on all fronts, as to what you do, and like I said, at the end of the day, it's a thrill for me to see us be able to help you help so many people.
And that's the goal of the whole thing. And again,
That's right.
It should be our goal in general in life is trying to help one another, not run over each other. That would make a beautiful world, wouldn't it?
Yep, sure would.
And we can all dream, of a better
we can dream.
World.
We can dream and we can take action. And, I think that, we see a review that says how much better somebody feels. It's a lot. That doesn't happen in a lot of the real world, to be able to feel like you were a part of it. I mean, for me, I'm speaking from my point of view, You do it all, every day. But for me, I just see the results. I am not a communicator or animal communicator.
Right.
Excuse me. I am not a trainer. I'm an animal lover who has a background in building marketplaces. So that's, for me, I know I'm best suited to just develop a marketplace that can do what we've just been talking about. And I'm definitely not the pet. Like I said, I don't know what my dog is thinking, and God knows she has a few issues we need to straighten out. She's 2, but anyway, it's funny. It's sort of ironic, I guess, in many ways, but it keeps it interesting.
It is. It does. It keeps it interesting. And by the way, your dog, what she thinks is you're her servant. And she just doesn't understand why you're not doing what she wants right then and there. So there's a quick little answer for you.
I think everybody in my house is probably saying the same damn thing. So you nailed it.
Oh, my. Big Daddy
Yeah,
there,
well,
right?
I mean, driving around and, it's funny. It's just karma, as a kid, I didn't think of, it's just funny being a grown-up. I guess that's all I can say about it.
Funny isn't even the word. I wish I could go back in time and go back, be at my parents' home, not have all the responsibilities. Whoa, wouldn't that be nice?
I would like to go back. I don't know if it would be, I don't know how long I would want to stay, but I would definitely like to check it out.
Wouldn't it be nice to
bit.
time travel
A little bit.
and go back? Now, we're coming
Correct.
down to the last few seconds here of the show. And, again, I've announced, they can find petworks.com, easy to find. And, if they put in a message to Petworks, you're going to get back to them. You or someone else in your company. And if they want to reach me, they can find me on Petworks or at my website, Cherokee Billie, spiritualadvisor.com. Any way you go. I love working with Petworks because, again, the people are more confident to use my services through you than direct with me often. So I find that a big thing.
I love
And
to
I
hear
thank
that.
you for
I love to
taking,
hear that.
I thank you, Kevin, for taking time out of your day to be here. And let's do this again. God bless and
For
thank
sure.
you.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Bye-bye.
Bye.